All right, when I say artificial intelligence, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Come on, be honest. Is it a killer robot with a glowing red eye? Or maybe a supercomputer, secretly plotting to take over the world? Yeah, Hollywood has given us a lot to be afraid of. But underneath all that sci-fi drama, there's a real question we've got to ask.
And that's the big one, isn't it? It hangs over pretty much every conversation we have about AI. And look, it's not a silly question at all. Even the folks who are actually building this stuff are thinking about it. But the truth is, the day-to-day reality of AI is a whole lot less Hollywood blockbuster and a lot more, well, normal. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into.
So let's do it. Let's pull back the curtain and separate the movie screen fiction from what's actually happening today. We're going to see what AI really is beyond all the scary robots and wild sci-fi plots. So let's get started with the basics. To really get a grip on what's going on, we have to start with the specific type of AI that's been making all the headlines. I'm almost certain you've heard the name, but let's make sure we're all on the same page about what it actually means. We're talking about generative AI, and that first word, generative, is the whole key. It generates stuff. It's not just crunching numbers or analyzing data. It's literally creating something new from it. It could be an email, a picture, even a piece of computer code. So think of it less like a Terminator and more like a creative partner. And this ability to create is the foundation for the next big step. Okay, so now let's talk about the next evolution, the AI agent. Now, this is where things start to feel a little more futuristic, but in a really practical, useful way. We're moving from an AI you just talk to an assistant that actually goes and works for you. And here is the absolute crucial difference. Think about a chatbot, right? It's kind of like a helpful librarian. You ask it a question, it finds the answer for you. Super useful. But an AI agent, that's more like a personal research assistant. You give it a goal, and it goes off and does all the different steps for you across your calendar, your spreadsheets, all your different apps. So one talks, the other does.
So how does this actually work? Well, the process is surprisingly straightforward. It all starts with you giving it a goal. Let's say you tell it, hey, find the top 3 restaurants near the conference center and book a table for 4 on Tuesday night. Okay, so from there, the agent starts gathering context. It checks your calendar to see when you're free, it looks at your maps for the location, it scans the web for reviews. Then it comes up with a plan, and here's the magic part. It just goes and does it on its own. No more jumping between 10 different apps, it just gets it done.
Now, I know this might still sound like something out of a movie, but these digital assistants, they're already here. And they're not taking over the world, they're taking over spreadsheets and scheduling. You know, the practical, everyday stuff.
I mean, just look at how normal these jobs are. Right now, AI agents are helping sales teams keep their records up to date, helping legal teams sift through contracts, and helping finance departments flag suspicious transactions. These are not world-ending dramatic tasks. They're just tools built to make things more efficient and more accurate so that human teams can focus on the work that really needs our creativity and our judgment.
But, and this is a big but, that doesn't mean there are no risks. It just means the real risks aren't about a robot apocalypse. They're actually quieter. They're way more complex, and they're things we absolutely have to get right. So when you hear experts talk about the dangers of AI, this is what they're actually worried about. They're talking about data privacy, like who owns and controls our information. They're worried about misinformation, the potential for AI to create fake content at a massive scale. And maybe the biggest concern of all is something called algorithmic bias. This is when an AI, which is supposed to be neutral, accidentally learns and even amplifies the hidden prejudices that are in the data we train it on. And here is a perfect and pretty troubling real-world example. A few years back, the UK used an algorithm to assign grades to students after exams got canceled. But the AI was trained on historical data, which reflected existing social inequalities. And the result? It automatically gave lower grades to students from less wealthy areas. The AI wasn't being evil. It was just a mirror reflecting a biased world. And the consequences for those students were devastating. This is exactly the kind of problem we need to be focused on solving. The good news is, these problems are definitely not going unnoticed. In fact, there's a huge global effort happening right now to build some guardrails for this technology, to make sure that as it gets more powerful, it also gets safer and a whole lot fairer. And this isn't just talk, it's already turning into real-world rules. Governments are not waiting around. In Europe, you've got things like GDPR to protect our data, and the brand new AI Act, which actually ranks AI systems by how risky they are. And here in the US, there's new guidance out there that lays out a clear ethical playbook for anyone building these tools. The message is pretty clear. We are building those guardrails as we go. And the core idea behind all these rules is really simple.
humans have to be in control. Always. The goal isn't to stop AI, it's to demand that it's transparent, that it's fair, and that there's always a human in the loop. Because at the end of the day, we're the ones designing this new world.
Okay, so with all of that as context, how should you engage with AI? The answer is pretty simple, at your own pace and in a way that feels right for you. The real key is just to stay informed without getting totally overwhelmed.
And you know what? There are some fantastic resources out there to help. If you want just a quick daily news blast, a newsletter like Superhuman has you covered in a few minutes. If you're more curious about how businesses are using it, check out the Rundown AI. Want to go super deep with insights from top researchers? Then The Batch is for you. Or hey, if you're someone who learns by doing, a platform like 100 School lets you get your hands dirty. The point is, you get to choose how deep you want to go.
Because in the end, the story of AI isn't finished yet. It's not some outside force that's just happening to us. It's a tool that we are all actively building and shaping, right now, together. So the real question isn't, what is AI going to do to us? The question is, how will we choose to guide it? The future of this technology? Well, that's in our hands.